Hey, what's going on? Doc Danny here with the PT Entrepreneur Podcast, and today we're talking about CSM. I'm headed to CSM. If you're listening to this, it's a week before we will be there, before it starts. So middle of February, I believe it's the 12th, 13th, 14th of February. But this year, I was asked by the APTA to come and present on a few different topics for, in particular, cash-based, business models. And I've been doing a lot of prep work for this because I have, I think, 6 things that I'm doing. So 2 of those are book signings, which is awesome because the APTA bought like 150 or 200 books that I'll be giving out. So if you want to book a physical copy, I would love to give you one. And we'll be doing that on Thursday. So Thursday afternoon, between 12 and 1:30, I'll be signing books and giving books out. Any of the ones that we have left over, we're going to just give out along the way to anybody that wants one. That morning, I'll also be doing a talk on starting a clinic in a gym with Gigi. So he and I both started our clinics in little subleased offices and gyms. And, I think it's a sweet spot for a lot of people to be able to get their clinic started there. It's low overhead. You're not taking a huge loan out. You can do it as a side hustle. You have a target audience there, which is great. It's sort of like I reference having a Chick-fil-A in a mall. They're always busy because they got a lot of foot traffic and then their target audience is like right there. So, it's the same thing. And we'll be talking about that actually twice. So I'll be talking about that Thursday morning as well as on Friday afternoon. So Friday after lunch, I'll be talking about the same thing. And we're doing that actually in the gym area, which is awesome. So a couple of years ago, Kelly Starrett convinced the APTA that they should have a gym area in the vendor hall, which I think is a very smart idea. The performance-based portion of the profession has grown a lot. I think it's something that makes a lot of sense. We do a lot of work with people from a longevity standpoint, and a lot of that has to do with movement. For us to present there makes a lot of sense. The last thing, which is, there's 2 actually. The last big presentation that I have to prep for is actually an hour and a half block they gave me to talk about the business model itself and really the growth that I've seen over the last decade of having had my own clinic and being involved in the space. And, for me, one of the things I wanted to share, which I thought was interesting, if you can't make it, by the way, if you're going to be there, I would love to say hello, meet in person. I'm a real person. Like I'm a real person. You can see that face to face if you want. If you're going to be there, that's awesome. And if even if you're going to be there and you want to stick around through Saturday, we're actually going to be doing a half-day workshop on getting a clinic started. So if you're a newer grad or somebody who's been thinking about doing this, this is a really cool opportunity. Saturday morning, we're going to be at one of our coaches' clinics in the Anaheim area, going over the starting phase with not just myself, but my business partner, Gigi, and our head coach, Courtney Morris. So it's a really cool opportunity to get some very, very knowledgeable people to take a look at what you're doing and share what we think these steps should look like if there's something you're interested in doing. But on Friday, I get an hour and a half block to talk about the business, model and what's changed and what we see as far as the evolution of it. And I did some digging. I was interested, like how many people have we worked with directly that are either current clients or people that are alumni of our PT Biz Mastermind program that have a 7-figure business or multiple 7-figure practice. And I was like really surprised because I haven't even dug into everybody and I've already found dozens, which is pretty compelling to say that the business has evolved quite a lot. I've definitely, seen it change a lot. And when I first got started, I was very okay with the fact that I was just creating a job for myself. In fact, I had a lot of people tell me that just wasn't going to be a business that could scale. It's not something that would really have enterprise value and be sellable one day. But what I saw was I could replace my income and more. I could work with people one-on-one, which was very important to me because my clinical skill set, like I'd worked really hard to become a good clinician and I wanted to use it. So I was okay with the trade-off, and I accepted it. And it just so happens that the business, it evolved and people were wrong about it. I was wrong about it. I didn't know if it'd be scalable either. But it's much different now, and many things have changed that I'm excited to address. But I just thought it was really interesting, and it's something that should make you feel motivated if you're in business right now, if you're thinking about starting a business like this, that I think we're in an interesting place where the market is growing for what people are looking for this type of work. They want a healthcare provider that's going to be more, one-to-one, more personalized to them. They want a healthcare experience that isn't, it isn't bad, and most of them are. And also, we're becoming this really interesting natural fit to help people with injuries, obviously, but also to help them achieve their health and wellness goals going forward, which is a great place to be as far as like longevity is concerned, and really being focused on the ongoing work with people, which is amazing for the business and amazing for the clients we get a chance to work with. So I just was really impressed that there were that many people that have grown businesses to that size, and it's really it's a proud thing for me to see, because I didn't do the work, but to see them take these principles that we teach, these business concepts that are, we like to think of it as like business school for cash-based clinicians, like, and run with it and grow and like just become even better entrepreneurs, is amazing, and I'm just really proud of everybody that has been able to continue to drive their business that direction and see the growth that honestly nobody really thought that we'd be able to do. So the other thing that I thought was interesting is I'm looking at these stats is one of the reasons the APTA wanted me to present is the fact that entrepreneurship is becoming a bigger and bigger portion of the profession. They see that for sure. I've seen that for a long time and have advocated for it. And it's still a small sliver of the overall profession. It's like 4 to 5% based on the best data that I could find of the profession that's self-employed. Which is small in comparison to many other professions like dentistry or veterinary or chiropractic. Those are at least a third to 2/3 in many cases of their profession that are self-employed. And, vast majority of us are not. We work for big hospital organizations. We work for big corporately owned, clinics. Maybe you work for a smaller private practice, but the vast majority of the jobs are in huge organizations. And it's trending in a direction where that 4 or 5%, it probably is going to end up being 8 to 10%, over the next 5-10 years, as people shift more towards these smaller businesses, this more sort of self-employment path that we see a lot of people doing. It's a trend, not just in our profession, but many other ones. And I'm excited for it. I think it's great. It drives more competition. It creates opportunities where people can focus more on niches. I think it's a great thing for patients that want more sort of like really like isolated skill sets that can help them specifically. If you're a runner, and you want to work with someone who is a badass running clinician, like there's going to be many of those that you're going to get a chance to work with and choose to work with. And if that's you and you want a business that can be built around that skill set, you can definitely do that. Like we see tons of examples of that even today. So, I think it's really interesting. Obviously I have a lot to share in this presentation, where I'm going to just talk about kind of where I see the profession going, but also the key things people need to focus on at these stages to get the early phase nailed down, because you can't skip it. You can't have a big business without having a small business first. I mean, unless I guess you buy it, but in that case, it's a very different example and also hard to do if you don't have any money or access to money, right? So you really can't skip the start phase. You got to nail it, and it's definitely changed over the last 10 to 12 years since we've been involved in the space. The last thing is, I get to do a panel with two really cool people. So Sue Falsone and Megan Brown. So these are two absolutely very successful clinicians within our space, but have done so in more of a non-traditional path. And that's actually what we're talking about. So, the career field is opening itself up to different opportunities that are not necessarily just clinical, right? Go in and work clinically, right? You could do something like Sue and work in professional sports and go that path. You do something like Megan and you can, be an entrepreneur and do so in more of a fitness forward way, where she's not treating patients, but she has group-based, Pilates classes that she has, and she's scaled to multiple locations and is very successful with how she's leveraged her own skill set within the profession, right? Even for me, I'm doing things now that I never thought that I would do. In 2010, when I graduated from the Army Baylor program, if I could go back in time and tell myself, hey man, you're going to be talking a lot about cash-based physical therapy business, and you're going to be doing a lot of like consulting and education and mentorship work with clinicians, and you're not going to be treating patients anymore, I would not have believed myself. Like this is not where I thought I would be, right? I thought I would be career military officer. I thought that I would be in the clinic forever. That's all that I would do. And it's funny how you end up where you end up, right? With the opportunities that you have and the things that you say yes or no to based on, whatever your values are that you have and the goals that you have along the way, they can shift and change. So the three of us will be doing a panel on, sort of the non-traditional path. And for many of you, you may end up in a more traditional path. You may just stay on the clinical side, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's actually the most personally rewarding job on the planet. You may decide you want to, go the entrepreneurship path and you want to build a team and you want to work with more people and you want to be able to have a business. And there's a lot of, things that are different about how you're going to use your skill set there. Maybe you end up, selling that and moving into something else, some other type of business. We've seen this with even our own clients that have successfully sold businesses and moved into other industries and are now successful in those industries, having started another business. It just depends on what you do, but I can tell you the skill set is transferable into many things. And I'm excited to get a chance. I'm very honored to get a chance to have to be on a panel with these two other clinicians and to be able to kind of share our sort of non-traditional paths of where we ended up, because for many of you, maybe you end up doing the same thing, right? And if you can kind of hear how we got there, it's interesting because it's not planned, and for any of us, as far as I know, and it's something that you should feel okay if you don't really know what you want to do. I think that can make people feel quite stressed out, and I think it'll be helpful to hear that. So if you're going to be there, let's connect. I'd love to meet in person. Come to one of the blocks that I have. I promise you it's going to be a lot more interesting than someone breaking down a research study. No offense to research studies, but come on, guys. I'm not going to be talking about stats. It's not going to be boring. We're going to give you some actionable things that are honestly, if this is the direction you want to go, they're going to help you, on the business side, they're going to help you have more success there. You're going to be able to make more money, have more impact, and have a much more clear idea of what you can do and where you're trying to go. If you're a student, I know a lot of students go to CSM, and what a great opportunity to just soak it all in. Really just, try to figure out what you want to do, even if you don't know if this is what you want to do. You probably have a better idea after you hear some of these presentations or a little sidebar conversation you may have. That's actually what I'm looking forward to most. When I go to events like this, the presenting side of things is what it is. Like it is beneficial, I think, from a standpoint of lots of people can hear what you have to say. But I personally enjoy just one-on-one conversations with people that I can learn more about what they are trying to do, where they're at in their business journey, and just hear what they're trying to do, and if I can help in any way, I'm always willing to do so and really enjoy doing that. So anyway, I fully expect I'm going to be exhausted after 3 days of presenting and getting a chance to meet a lot of people, and but it's a good form of exhaustion, right? Like it's positive, and I'm excited to do it. So the APTA, like I said, I appreciate the invite. It means a lot to me that they see our sort of, niche within a niche within the profession of what we're doing as something that's growing and important. I've really been impressed with their leadership team and just the ability that they've had to want to lean into this and organize all this, which is amazing. Like, if you've ever been to CSM, you know how big this thing is. And for me to kind of see the behind the scenes of how it's all organized is just like, it's a huge thing to pull off. So, difficult to do, a lot of respect for people that are doing that. So if you're there, awesome. If not, probably too late to come. I don't know how if they have any tickets left or whatever, but either way, I look forward to it. I just want to share some of the things that I'm seeing. Super bullish on the profession, as always. Like, the more I dig into this stuff, the more I'm just like, we are so fortunate to have picked the time that we're in, the skill set that we have, and the changes in healthcare that are occurring. All these things are really aligning for what we do, especially as performance-based clinicians that are sort of functioning slightly outside of the traditional healthcare system. The consumer is looking for that, and that isn't going to stop anytime soon. So anyway, hope to meet you in Anaheim. If you see me, come say hello. come to one of my talks or grab a book. It'll be totally free. Would love to sign it for you. Even though I have terrible handwriting, you might not be able to make out what I say. Either way, I'll give you a book. And I just want to say thanks to anybody who is going to come or stop by. Would love to meet in person. And as always, thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one.